So I'd like to talk to you a little bit about why and how to register your copyrights. Registration of your copyrights with the Copyright Office is not necessary to legally own your copyrights. However, there are some benefits to registration. Currently, copyright registration is most useful when there is an infringement because you cannot sue for copyright infringement unless you have a registration. Also, there are advantages to registering your copyrights before the infringement occurs or within 3 months of publishing your work. So within 3 months of releasing your CD is the most common scenario there. If you don't register your copyrights before the infringement occurs, then you risk not being able to get statutory damages, which is really the big stick when it comes to copyright infringement actions, because that's where the big money comes in. If you had registered your copyrights before the infringement, you could get up to $150,000 per work per infringement. If you haven't registered your copyrights and you're able to sue for infringement, then you're going to be limited to basically what money you should have earned if there had not been an infringement, which is really hard to prove. Also, if you don't register your copyrights before the infringement occurs or within 3 months of publication, it can be really difficult to get an attorney to take your case because there's no guarantee that they'll get paid their attorney's fees. If you had registered your copyrights in advance of the infringement, then there's a provision that the infringer actually has to pay your attorney's fees. As far as how you register your copyrights, the Copyright Office, as of 2008, launched an online system for registering copyrights. They are really pushing. They're making it less expensive to register online than with paper. Currently, the price as of 2010 is $35 for an online application. If you want to use the paper application still or some hybrid form, there's actually a hybrid of electronic and paper filing. The cost for those is $50 to $65 per application. So there's actually quite a savings if you learn to use the online system. The online system is called ECO. It's just ECO for Electronic Copyright Office, and you can get there by going to copyright.gov. That's copyright.gov. The form is actually quite easy to fill out. It's just a web form that has the same blanks that you would have filled out on the paper application. They do have tutorials available on the website for you to check out. The hardest thing probably is going to be creating a user account to be able to actually enter in the information on an ECO registration, because they have these bizarre password rules that you have to figure out how to get a password that meets all their restrictions. I found that to be the most difficult part of using ECO. One of the other reasons you might want to do the online registration, other than saving money, is also to save time. The Copyright Office claims that if you use the online system, you will usually get a turnaround, meaning registration certificate in hand, within 9 months. That still sounds like a long time to me, but 9 months is far better than what they say how long you'll have to wait if you file a paper application. The Copyright Office says that currently paper applications are 22 months in processing. I have filled out several copyright applications for clients, and I have found these numbers to be on the low end. I have some electronics that are at 18 months and some papers that are more than 2 years now. One question I often get is, well, you're telling me to register my copyrights or I won't be able to sue for infringement. What if I find there's infringement? I go online and I register, and then I have to wait 9 months to 2 years to get something back that allows me to sue. There are ways around that, I would say. And also, once you get your registration, it actually reverts back to the day that you initially submitted your application. So you can sue for infringement at that initial point when you submitted your application. I often get asked whether it's necessary to fill out separate applications for each song, or if you can register a group of songs together. The answer is yes, you can register a collection of songs. Let's take an example. I find that to be the easiest. Say you have a CD that's coming out and it has 10 songs on it. You wrote 8 songs by yourself, and then you had a co-writer on 2 songs. The way the applications work is they want the same authors to be on one application. So if there's a different configuration of authors, on one song versus other songs, and you're going to have to fill out a different application for each configuration. To make that a little bit less Greek, going with the 8 songs that you wrote by yourself, you can put all 8 songs on one application together. The 2 songs that you wrote with your friend Jake, then you can register those 2 songs on a separate application. So you're looking at $70 if you're using the online system. Say you wrote 7 songs by yourself, 2 songs with Jake, and 1 song with Sally, then you're looking at 3 different applications. 1 for the songs you wrote by yourself, 1 for the songs you wrote with Jake, and 1 for the songs you wrote with Sally. Also keep in mind that you should not just be registering your songs, you should also be registering your sound recordings. This is 2 different forms. The Copyright Office has Form PA, which is for the musical composition or the song, and the Copyright Office has a Form SR for the sound recording. That's because the recording industry has this fun thing where they make what appears to be a single work actually 2 copyrighted works. The first is the copyright in the sound recording, and the second is the copyright in the song embodied on the sound recording, or in the words of the Copyright Act, the musical work. Again, if you want to register a group of sound recordings at one time, you're able to do that, presuming that the owners of the sound recording are the same. So going back to that CD with 10 songs on it, if you own all the sound recordings, you could register all 10 recordings together on one Form SR. Even better, if you wrote all the songs yourself and you own all the sound recordings, you could actually pay just $35 and register all songs and all recordings on a single Form SR.